What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph? You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, we're coming back to Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yes, indeed, Red Hot Chili Peppers fans, feeling you. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity-boobity bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Klaus Bremner, Flea fans, and you. I kid you not. YU space YU. Yeah. They all want to see me react to this song by Red Hot Chili Peppers called Dani California. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a minute, hang on, this sounds familiar, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Carlos Music 100X. Sure, why not? And the video has 1.9 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. 05, Dani California, Red Hot Chili Peppers live at Alcatraz. Like Alcatraz Island? They did a concert at Alcatraz Island? No. No way. I don't believe the city of San Francisco would ever allow that to happen. Then again, maybe they did. I don't know. I mean, it's money. It's revenue. Why not? I guess. Sure. Why not? All right. Let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Just a few guys. Couple of guys.
Nice.
Get born in the state of Mississippi. Papa was a cotton and mama was a hippie. In Alabama, she was swinging hammer. That's got a face with big panorama. She never knew that there was anything more than gold. What in the world does your compliment take me for? Black bandana, sweet Louisiana, robbing on fake in the state of Indiana. She's a runner, rebel and a stunner. On a merry way, saying, baby, what you gonna? Looking down the barrel, hot metal 45, just another way to survive. California, rest in peace.
Wait.
Simultaneous release. California, loyalty.
I recognize that. I recognize this. I recognize this part. Back up a little bit. Yeah, this part. I recognize this part. I know I've heard this before. I just don't know where. I want to say sporting events. I want to say I've heard it at football games. Either football games or maybe it's been used in television or movies or something. Now the rest of the song, the rest of what I've heard so far, I don't recognize that. But this part, yeah, I absolutely recognize it.
Dani California, day was gonna come when I was gonna own ya. A little low dream, still in another place. I love my baby today. California, destiny, simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess, I'm your priest, yeah, yeah. Ooh, you, all the side of you. Ooh, you, all the stuff we do. Choo-choo, say goodbye to you. Choo-choo, say. Gifted animator, one for the now and 11 for the later.
Modulation there up to B. That was nice. That was nice. We've been in A the whole time for the most part. Yeah. So modulating up to the B for that little section there, that was a nice little touch. It was. Didn't see that coming, but I'll be honest with you, it was kind of needed. It's a nice little refreshing break. Yeah, well done. Well done indeed. Let's keep going here.
Never made it up to Minnesota. North Dakota man was gonna for the quota. Down in the Badlands, she was saving the best for last. It only hurts when I land.
All octaves. 1-8.
Gone too fast. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth. She's my priestess, I'm your priest. Yeah, yeah. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth.
Never noticed that.
Priestess, I'm your priest.
I've never noticed the riff before in that. The part I recognize, the part that just played, I've never really paid attention to the movement of the chordal progression. I've always thought it was catchy, but I've never noticed how like it actually moves from the C to the D. No, actually, let me back up. It starts off on the G down to the F, up to the C to the D. So it's playing with fifths. So G to the F. Now the fifth of the F would be the C. So it jumps from there, from the F to the fifth, which is your C, moves up one full step up to the D, and then from the D, it moves down a fifth, down to the G. I know the G is actually the fourth of D, but when you move down, you have to move down 7 semitones, which is 5 steps. So you go from the D to the G. So you are still having that fifth, G to the F, up to the C to the D, G to F, C to D. So on the neck, Here's G to the F to the C to the D. G, F, C, D. You're always revolving around this third fret though. So third fret, right, for the G to the F, back up to the third fret for the C, up to the D. I mean, it's easy. It's a super easy thing to do, but it's unusual. You don't usually hear that kind of a progression. You usually will hear the progression that will continue to build and grow and move in the same direction of the previous note. So usually like a C to the D to the E. Or if you're going down, G to the F to the either E or maybe go down to the D from there. G, F, D. You know, because you're still moving down, but to jump around the way they're doing it with the bass line, and not just the bass line, but in the entire chordal progression as a whole, it's interesting. It's really interesting. It's catchy. It's definitely catchy. I think it's one of the reasons why I recognize it, is because it's stuck with me. Anyway, let's keep going here. Bass line that Lee's got going. Kind of reminiscent of Orion a little bit. The root to the third, down to the 7 to the 5th of the 7. Oh yeah, come on, Lee. Nice. Nice. This is going to be a weird one. This is going to be a weird one because I do acknowledge that I recognized part of it. The chorus, probably most important part of the song. I do recognize that part, but none of the other parts are recognized. I mean, I guess it could still be considered a reaction since it was only that one part. It was just the chorus, but the chorus happened like 2 or 3 times. So could I still call this a reaction? Yeah, I guess I could. I need to think about it. I need to think about this. Okay, let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Red Hot Chili Peppers with Dani California. This was a request from Klaus Bremner, Flea fans, and you. Anyway, all right, let's get to it. Before I give my score, I want to make sure that I'm very clear about a couple of things and, full transparency here. During the course of the reaction, when we got to the chorus, I recognized it. I was like, I've heard that part before. And I thought about it. I was like, can this still be a reaction? Even though I did recognize the chorus, the rest of the stuff happening in the song, I didn't recognize. So after some lengthy arguing with myself, I decided that yes, I can still technically call this a reaction because about over 3/4 of what I heard, I did not recognize. So I'm still going to roll with this being a reaction. But I do want to acknowledge, and I do want to make sure that everybody sees and hears and knows that I did recognize the chorus. It's catchy. It's definitely catchy. And it's very memorable, which is why I recognized it. I think I've heard it at sporting events. I'm almost positive that's why I've heard it. I may have heard it in movies or television, possibly. I'm not 100% sure about that part, but I'm almost positive sporting events is where I've heard it as well. So anyway, so clearly there's some commercial value in this song. Anyway, let's get to the score, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.6. Yep, 8.6. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Fairly easy song, if I'm being honest. It's in A, which is a great key to be playing with. It's an easygoing key. It could be the funny. A is very versatile. You can lay back with it. You really can. You can get a nice blues riff off of A, man. A is one of the best keys for blues. You can really sit back in the pocket with it. Or you could be really on top of the beat and drive ahead with it.
Now, who can argue with that? Robert!
You could go either way with A, man. It all points in between. A is extremely versatile. You could go with major or minor in A, and they both sound equally good. I think A is probably one of the most versatile keys that you could have. As far as the bass work, it was pretty easy for the most part, up until they got to the jam. For the most part, Flea was just playing around with octaves and fifths. A to A, A to octave A, down to G to octave G, up to D to octave D, back down to A to octave A again. And then wash, rinse, and repeat. When you got to the chorus, it was, G to F to C to D, to G to F to C to D, playing around that 3rd fret, playing around with fifths around that 3rd fret. So that was really cool. It was nice. The same chordal progression was happening within the guitar as well. So yeah, really nothing all that difficult as far as the main song goes. It's pretty easy to follow. But the thing is, it was creative. I will absolutely give credit where credit's due with the creativity in the chorus in particular. I always wondered why. When I recognized that, I thought to myself, I know I've heard the song before. I know I've heard that part anyway. And looking back on all the times that I have heard that part, I remember asking myself, I wonder why that's so catchy. And I finally even figured it out is because of the movement, from the G to the F moving down against the upward motion of the 5th from the C to the D. So it's catchy. It's definitely catchy. It's definitely ear-catching. It grabs your attention. It does, because it moves against itself. And it's surprisingly pleasing to the ear. Probably because we are playing around within the fifths around the 3rd fret. The single fret moving down 1 step, and on the next string up, moving up 1 full step. So that That's probably why it's so catchy, but it was definitely memorable for sure. Anthony Kiedis' vocals on this sounded really good. Got no issue with anything he did vocally. It sounded nice. Chad's drumming, solid as always. No issues there at all. During the course of the song, it sounded really good. I'll be honest with you. I would go as far as to say great. I would give the song about an 8.2, 8.3, somewhere in there. So how am I coming up with an 8.6? This is gonna blow some people's minds because this was a big argument and something I really disliked about another Chili Peppers reaction I did. The jam at the end. Now I know people right now who saw that reaction, they know the reaction I'm talking about, are screaming bloody murder at me right now going, you're a hypocrite. No, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm gonna explain why. There's a big difference between the two. Number one, this song, the jam, was under 4 minutes. Seriously, it was like 3.5. It wasn't long. It wasn't long at all. And it was a nice jam, and it moved around, and it did go places. It shifted from guitar solo to bass solo. And they kind of shared the responsibility there, which was nice. It wasn't split in half. It was like 2/3 John and 1/3 Flea, but still there was a split. And like I said, it was under 4 minutes. Seriously, the jam was about 3.5. So it was a lot less time. It was far more entertaining. It was far more engaging. I wasn't sitting there going, okay, let's wrap this up, you know. I wasn't doing that with this one. With that other jam, the jam itself, just the jam, went for like, what, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that? Way too long. That was my biggest argument. They could have cut that jam in half, and they could have squeezed another song in there, you know? Give the people paying their good money what they want, you know, play another song. You know, but everybody in the comments were saying, well, that's what Chili Pepper fans want. They want the jams. Okay, if you say so. But I liked this jam. Like I said, it wasn't super long, and it was engaging. It was fun. It moved. It changed. It kept your attention, and it was definitely entertaining. So I liked this jam. I think this jam was really well done. Flea's bass playing on that was all over the place, man. Loved it. Loved hearing him get up on that neck, doing that almost like a tribute to Orion from Metallica. The root to the minor third, and then you go back to the root, down a step, and then you hit the fifth, and then you know down another step to the third and the fifth, and then you go back up to the root. So you know you go. Let's see, what were we in? A. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what key we were in, but you root to the minor third, then you went back to that root down to the 7, right? There's the 5th on the 7, and then you went down another step to the 6 where you played the 3rd and the 5th. So I thought that was really cool. I thought it was a nice little riff. And then in between, when he would get to that, when he get to the 6th, he would do the 3rd and the 5th, and then he would make a melodic line up to like the 4th above the root or the 5th above the root, and then descend down to the root. And it was really cool, man. Really, really nice riff work. John soloing over that jam session was really nice too. Very tastefully done. Not getting too out there, not going so far out in the left field that you're not even sure what key he's playing in anymore, like he's done in the past. No, he stayed in key the entire time. He stayed in the chordal progression that was happening within the jam that was established. So good on him. It sounded really good. And I had no problem with this jam. None at all. And that's why I boosted it up from by an 8.2, 8.3 range up to the 8.6. I thought the jam was really well done. So 8.6, I feel good with that score, and that is where we're going to stay. So 8.6, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.